everyone. This is part 2 of my series that I'm continuing called Dear God, My Health Matters. We are back with my sister, Latoya Mullen. And on this segment of part 2, we're going to be focusing on how to take preventative measures for mental health, as well as, the information about her business and how you can reach her directly. So what does a treatment plan consist of? So once you figure out exactly what's going on with the patient, they pretty much bare their soul to you and let you know what's going on. What does a treatment plan pretty much consist of to get someone, back up and going into themselves again?
Well, it depends. I'm not a person who pushes things on my patients or my clients. We work together as a team to come up with a treatment plan that works best for both of us. As long as I feel comfortable with it, I like to include the person in their treatment, because ultimately they're the ones who are going through the situation, and they're ultimately the ones who know themselves the best. So when I say holistic things like medication doesn't always have to be the answer. I'm a strong advocate of individual therapy or counseling, trauma counseling. Typically, if they are more along the lines of they would want a medication, then we talk about medications, side effects, what the goals of the medication are. I always tell people this is not something that you necessarily have to be on for the rest of your life. It's just that right now you may need a little bit of help, and then if it's working, later on, we can kind of explore coming off of it if that's something that you would want to do. But like I said, I always pitch counseling, therapy, other coping skills outside of medication or therapy, like things you can do at home. Like journaling is usually a good thing for some people, especially my adolescent patients. And I have resources for like groups that are in the community and things of that nature. So it really just depends on what the person is coming in for. Even spirituality, you can always turn to your faith as well. So there's no cookie cutter treatment plan. It's very individualistic. The hardest question for a person to ask is, what types of things do you usually like to do? And the person is kind of stuck because they don't really know. So that's the first thing. Start identifying things that you think would make you happy, or something that you used to do that you may want to get back into doing again. I always encourage doing that first. So that's the first step, is identifying things that typically make you feel good. Like, what makes me feel good? And then kind of going from there. Self-care is a really, really big one. Whatever self-care is to you, as long as it's anything that's not detrimental to you. So, you're not going to do crack if that makes you feel good, or drugs or substance abuse.
Please, people, do not do crack.
You're not going to do that. But things that are conducive to your health, that are not causing a detriment at the same time.
Exactly. When we're thinking about, someone that, is dealing with their mental health, how can they get in contact with someone like you, or in this particular field, or those plethora of resources that we talked about?
So the day and age we live in right now, everything is internet. So you can always, of course, yes, you can always Google. You would want to Google like psychiatrists near me or mental health resources near me. But there is also a website called Psychology Today. So psychologytoday.com, you can actually type in your zip code, type in therapist, and it'll bring up a plethora of therapists that are within you can set a mileage range that are near you. You can ask for psychiatrists as well, or you can ask for if you have preferences even. So if you're wanting, I only want a woman, then you can look up or put in the search engine, female therapist near me or in my area, or Black therapist near me in my area. So Psychology Today is a good resource for that. It's also just word of mouth. Sometimes if you have a primary care doctor, they can also refer you to mental health services in the area, or even your GYN. Us women, we always have a GYN, and they have good resources as well. But if you don't have any of that, then definitely use Google just to look up mental health services near me, and then kind of go from there.
Can you, because I know, like, for me, like with my personal health insurance, like I can also like kind of contact
as well. You can contact your insurance companies to see who is in network. So that's important too. So if you prefer to use your insurance, then you can start with your insurance companies as well and see what psychiatric providers are in your network, or mental health providers are in your network.
So because I know you talked about depression, anxiety, the top things that you kind of see like on a regular basis. Do you also handle, because I know with depression, postpartum, do you have any, like, do you handle in that field as well? Is
Yeah, I have pregnant women who are may have issues during pregnancy, and then even after pregnancy. So postpartum is a thing, and it can happen to anyone. But you know, with Black women, we're also made to be strong. Everybody looks at us as we're strong and get back out there. Don't want to sit still or feel bad because they're not working. But I always tell my pregnant patients, if you have the time to take off, use every bit of it that you can, because one, you're not going to get that time back. And even if you feel well, just use the time to bond with your baby and to get help. If it is some postpartum symptoms that you're having, the time that you have off is also time to like go to counseling, come in and see somebody. I always tell people, you do not get a gold star for suffering. So don't suffer alone. Always, you know, put your mental health first. And for my pregnant moms and my mothers, period, who are postpartum, I always tell them, happy mom, happy baby. So if you're not happy, then baby is not going to be happy. So you do kind of have to put yourself first in order to be present, because if you're not, then that is going to have a trickle down effect. And if you're feeling anxious or not feeling well with the baby in the womb, those things can transfer in the womb. So if you're super anxious or having a lot of anxiety and not wanting to address it, those things can translate in the womb as well. So I do encourage pregnant women and mothers who have recently given birth to seek counseling or any kind of treatment if they are struggling. Using mental health, treating it kind of like the same way you would treat like a physical condition. So do the same type of preventative measures, go to therapy, do coping skills, seek medication if you need medication. You don't always have to wait until you're in a dire situation to then go talk to someone. It is a safe space for you to be open and honest.
Thank you, Toya, for explaining everything so beautifully. I want to kind of move in now and talk more about your business and then mental health as a whole. So I know you said especially about mental health in the African American community. So what is your take on mental health in the African American community as a whole?
Well, we just tend to always think that you can pray it away, or it's a shameful thing if you're taking medication for a mental health issue. And African American men tend to not want to get help with their issues, and women, we just want to hold all the weight of the world on our shoulders, and men too. So we often think it's a sign of weakness if we can't, right? So that's the things that I notice the most within the African American community. They automatically think mental health means you're crazy, and they think that you could just pray it away. But I always tell people when they say things like that to me, like, all I need to do is get some Jesus. Jesus is great because I have the relationship. However, I always tell people, why do you think he put me here in this place right now for you to even be talking to me? God put me in this place for a reason. And usually when I bring that to them, they're more like, okay, so I got it now. And I also have patients that I pray with. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. But those are some of the main misconceptions, that if you're seeking mental health treatment for any type of reason, that automatically means you're crazy. This is happening to you because you're failing in your spiritual life. You haven't prayed enough. And that's not true as well. And people are just generally just afraid. They just don't know what to expect. So it's also that fear of unknown too.
And I want to piggyback off of something that my sister just said, because she was just talking about how people in the African American community, you know, people be like, oh, you crazy, girl, you going to see a crazy doctor, whatever have you. But just like my sister said, when she was like, but no, God put us here for a reason. I was just having a conversation with my dad on that topic a couple weeks ago. And he was like, not only just putting y'all here for a reason, but God gives everybody gifts. And clearly this is a gift. And not only is it a gift, but you've been to school and you've been taught to be an expert in this area. So it's like, why would he not why is he gonna have you not gonna go see someone that he's given the gifts and let it to be an expert in that area? So don't suffer in silence. Y'all know personally, I've had my own mental health struggles throughout my blog. So far, me kind of handling it on my own has helped me. Journaling, my whole blog is about that anyway. But yes, go out, seek the help. Don't think that you're crazy. Don't think that you failed God, and don't let people in church try to make it seem like that this is a bad thing, because people will put you in that place, and don't allow that. So I want to move on and focus on my sister's business itself. We are at Ivy Health Psychological Services LLC, honey. So I wanted her to give some insight about her business. Just give us all the deets.
So I'm located in Suffolk, off of Lilroy Road, near the Centera Obacy area. So it's close to downtown, still close to northern Suffolk. You can call to book an appointment. I know sometimes that's a main gripe with some people, that the phones get crazy. They never get anyone to call them back. But we're really good about calling you back, at least with usually we can get back to you within the same day, if not the very next day. We offer both telemedicine and in person. Take most insurances. Right now we do not take Medicare or straight Medicaid plans, but we do have Optima Medicaid, Anthem Medicaid, Aetna Better Health, as well as the commercial side of all those plans as well. We are also TRICARE certified, so we do see TRICARE patients as well. And for anyone who is self-pay, we do have discounted self-pay rate options as well. So I got started kind of by accident in 2019. A practice I was working for, the doctor I was actually working under at that time decided to close the practice. So that kind of left me in like a vulnerable state. Like, that is what kind of made me want to kind of branch out on my own, because I wouldn't want that to happen again, where a practice I'm working at closes and then I have to scramble to find another place to go. And in this area in Suffolk, there are not a lot of us out here. So I did see the need for this location as well. And I'm happy I did it, because now I can really serve the community the way I would like to when it comes to mental health.
And I'll make sure, guys, that my sister's contact information is there. So if you do need to call and make an appointment, that we'll have that information down for you as well. It's really to help you, and it's confidential. You don't got to worry about nobody, you know, telling your business. And like we said, do not hesitate to get the help. If you are struggling, battling anxiety, depression, any of those things, mental health is a broad area. So it is so much that you could be dealing with. Not only is it important just to have a prayer life and to have a spiritual life, but the Bible also talks about having a community. And this is what community looks like. Everyone, well, thank you so much for joining and watching us as we went through our interview with Latoya Mullen. This concludes series part 1 and 2. I thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my blog. All of my contact information as well as my social media is down here below. We've also included, if you would like to reach out to my sister and make a new inpatient appointment, her contact information and her website is also listed below as well. Stay tuned. This is just the first part of this amazing series that we are kicking off. We got exciting more other health professionals that are going to come and share some exciting information with you guys. So definitely tune in. And as always, the journey does start with just those 2 words, dear God. Just want to know where we were.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're rolling.
Taking medication because something's wrong. I mean, it doesn't, before it gets to medication, therapy doesn't have to be something.
Yeah, should I give me 1 second? Oh, girl. I am so excited today. I have my very own older sister, Latoya Mullen, with me here today. And she's going
to be... Not that old.
You're looking at the camera, because it's going to pick you up.
Oh, because I'm just looking. I have to look at the camera.